Senior High 2024 Retreat Recap from Camp Kakwa, featuring Pastor Wes Hillis, Emerson Marr, and myself, Julie Adams. Hello, and welcome to the Ignite Youth Podcast.
It's too calm for hello. It's like
I have to center myself before doing these complicated introductions.
We said a small introduction at first, and then we joked with a big one, and then you did the big one.
If you're ever wondering what the most difficult part of my job is,
it's working with
the introduction.
It's working with
Wes.
Exactly. No. The introduction to the youth podcast. Yeah, that's the most complicated part.
If that's the most complicated, that's pretty good.
Well, it's pretty good. You're right. You're right.
What's your most complicated person?
My most complicated? Everything.
Everything?
Just wait till we're done with you. No, I'm kidding.
Just wait till VBS.
Yeah. So, Wes
Yeah.
and Emerson, you guys traveled to Camp Kakwa in Magnetawan. What?
Just keep going. We'll tell you about it. We'll tell you about it soon.
Okay. Last weekend
Yep.
with a group to meet up with other
Yeah.
churches to have a senior high retreat. And I know you guys always have some great stories
Yeah.
and great testimonies from being there. So we're looking forward to hearing them from you.
Yeah. And so the reason I started laughing is because when you started talking about the senior retreat, all I could think about first off was a 7.5 hour bus ride it took to get there.
Ooh.
Yeah. So 7.5 hours
Wow.
is what we took to get there. It was traffic. A lot of the time it was traffic.
It was, I think like almost all of
Yeah.
it was
But
traffic.
then also it was raining at least for the first 2-3 hours of the bus ride.
Like pouring.
So we couldn't open the windows.
Oh,
So that bus just started getting
It was
hot, and it was humid. It was
either soaking wet or
yeah.
burning up.
Yeah.
Ooh.
And so it was the bus ride up was not great. It was pretty bad.
Mm-hmm.
But after the en route, I think it kind of
Yes,
was good.
it cleared up a bit.
Yeah.
After the Barry en route.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, but no, we got there, so we left at 1:30, we got there around 9 o'clock.
Yeah.
So, which,
Wow.
yeah.
That's late.
Like we were getting there right, it was a half hour till session started. So, yeah, we jumped into the session kind of right away. We just kind of like
threw our stuff on our bed and then just
kind of claimed your bed, kept going.
Mm-hmm.
Which, by the way, it was funny. We got into, so Emerson and I, we stayed in one room with a bunch of guys.
Mm-hmm.
We got into the room. No one has been in there yet. And there was our old church among us cards that Jonah Laura intro made last year. No idea where they came from. They were just on the floor.
Just there.
Wow.
We were very confused.
So did you re-hide or did you keep them?
I didn't pick them up.
I threw them out.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I feel bad. They were laminated and everything.
That's very responsible of you.
But it was kind of weird. Like, where did these come from?
Mm.
So yeah.
Was it the same cabin that you stayed in last year?
Yeah, but it would have been clean. Like, it would have been.
Yeah.
And that wasn't the room that you and Jonah stayed in last time.
No, it wouldn't have been. No, we were upstairs too.
It's a mystery, folks.
Yeah, I have no idea how they got there.
Scary.
So yeah, the session. I thought the session was great on the Saturday night. It just kind of introduced living with purpose.
Mm-hmm.
So we had Jordan Taylor. He was the speaker for the weekend. He's from New Zealand, so everyone listens to him because of his accent.
He's sort of a familiar face.
He's a familiar face.
Been there before and been to events here before.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So 2 years ago we also had him, and he did a great job. He led our group really well through the whole sessions, and he did that again this weekend. I'm still tired. Are you still tired from it?
Yeah, I have not recovered.
I
yet.
Can't imagine
yet.
why.
Yeah.
Just kidding. How many kids did you bring?
We brought 47 kids.
Wow.
8 liters.
8 liters.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, we had a bus, a vehicle, and then a truck with a trailer.
Wow.
Yeah, we were pretty big.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so.
And how many were there total, like from other churches?
Just around 200.
Wow.
And that was a lot for camp. Like that was it was a huge group for camp.
You're at capacity, I bet.
Pretty much. Like it was fairly close to being capacity.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I think one of the biggest highlights on the Friday night was probably the worship altogether sort of the group. Which we do worship in the big tent all the time. It's great. It's wonderful. But we did worship afterwards. So we have our session, which worship is a part of that. And then we break off into small groups. The girls went to their small group, guys went into their small group. It's like, this is after nighttime game.
Yeah, we're all pretty exhausted.
Like, so nighttime game ends, which I don't even remember what it was.
It was Oh, we had to find all the leaders that were
Oh,
hiding
yeah.
around, all the pastors.
Yeah, leaders were sent out to hide in places, and I did not like my hiding spot.
He was in the mud in a goggle pit.
I was in the mud in the goggle pit. Things were crawling on
laying
me.
face down.
Ugh.
Yeah. Yeah. Love that.
Yeah, that sounds fantastic.
Yeah. But we came back together afterwards, and like everyone's kind of been told to like go to sleep, and our group said no, we are actually going to do worship on the porch, which we didn't fit on the porch because there was too fit on the porch. There's too many bugs. It was very buggy this weekend at Camp Cockwell. Like I have too many mosquito bites.
Yep.
But we got in, so we went into the main room of retreat. So if you know Camp Cockwell, you know retreat cabin. It's the oldest cabin there.
Yep. Like 3 stories high.
3 stories. So you have,
right?
yeah. So you have, it's the basement first level. Well, okay, we'll get to that. We'll get to that. But so you have the main floor of retreat, which has 2 rooms on it, and then a main lobby room. Back behind are the bathrooms, and upstairs there's another room for sleeping. And it's because it was so big, we just brought our whole group into the main spot. So it was guys and girls all in the main spot, and we did worship in there from probably 11 until like 12:30. Yeah. Probably for like an hour and a half. We kind of got shut down.
Yeah.
Curfew.
So
Camp was not happy.
They were fine. They were like they weren't not.
No, they were just
they were not unhappy.
They wanted people to sleep.
Yeah. Because they came in and they kind of said, "We love how much you're worshiping and praising the Lord, but you need to go to sleep."
Yeah.
And then they let us play one more song.
Then we played one more song. But we it was such an awesome time for me because usually like I have to be the responsible one here and kind of say, okay, people know we actually need to get going, need to go home. It's time to actually get out. At camp, I was like, keep going. And there was a few times where the students would look at me and be like, do we have to stop? I'm like, no, keep going. And I did walk in once. I tricked them all.
I don't remember that.
I think you were outside.
Okay.
Like you were going to take a video or a photo or something.
Yeah, I was checking to see how far away we could
hear. Yeah, so if you know where camp, so you know camp.
Yep.
Retreat cabin. You could hear our group from the volleyball court.
Oh, wow.
It was.
Oh, we were loud.
It was as clear as day at the volleyball court.
Yeah. Like
wow,
lyrics, sound.
If you went to the row, you probably could have faintly heard us. Yeah,
that's wild.
Yeah, and so it was amazing. And so I remember walking back into the cabin, and I kind of had my head down, like, guys, like we may have to. And I can't. And then they all looked at me, like the band looked at me and said, "Do we have to stop?" I was like, "No, keep going." So it was a really fun time, and just a really high spiritual time, just being able to praise God and just kind of go through that with our group. Some of the younger guys, like the grade 9, 10s, were like, "I'm too tired from the bus ride. I need to go to sleep." And I was like, "That's okay. Like, if you need to go to sleep, you can go to sleep. Like, don't worry about it."
You cannot go to sleep.
You cannot go to sleep. There was no way they were actually falling asleep. But no, it was a really great time. If you want to check out what it was like we have Instagram posts kind of showing it.
Yeah, they're great.
Yeah, check that out. It was awesome. My favorite part of that night was just being able to just really just sit there and simmer in the worship, just enjoy it all. But yeah, and then Saturday happened.
Oh, we're gonna skip over the Friday.
Oh no, we can't skip over the Friday.
We can't. I don't think we can.
So we got shut down.
Yeah.
We're about to go to sleep, and then one of the guys in Emerson and I's room says, "What was it like?"
Something about upstairs and downstairs.
Oh yeah, they said, "Are we technically on the first floor of retreat or the second floor of retreat?" And we said, "What do you mean?" He said, "Well, there's that under part of retreat. So is that like a basement or is that the first?" And so that discussion took 20 to 30 minutes to get through.
I see.
I think it took like almost an hour. I'm being honest. We just started making stuff up at one point because we were so overtired.
Yeah. And delirious. We were so overtired. We were a little delirious. And one of the guys in that group was just like, "Please just go to bed." Like he was losing his mind. Yeah. Which that's a little bit inside the guy's cabin. There's always something like that happens. Yeah. So
that was pretty tame compared to other things.
Compared to what has happened before. Yeah, that was pretty tame. But yeah, so Saturday we got up. I don't know what time people woke up early on Saturday.
It was like 6.
Teenagers don't usually wake up that early, but
no.
Like our group was up and at 'em. And so woke up at 6. yeah, it's kind of took the time. A bunch of the guys showered, which I don't know why they showered. It was a terrible idea.
I mean, that's a great idea.
No,
I think.
no. Don't shower the morning before you're about to go and do a bunch of different run-around games.
Yeah, you're
all
gonna get
those
disgusting,
things.
sweaty.
Why is there a limit on showering? Could you not have an additional shower in the
you
evening?
could, but your towel is not going to dry in time. Like it's just
okay.
You're just
It's,
and I don't think camp has a limit on hot water anymore. So like that does make a difference.
Yeah.
But, so yeah, I like for me, I got up, went youth pastor meeting, which was good. Didn't get told we were too loud, which was nice.
Yeah.
Maybe we could keep going for tonight then.
How many different churches were there?
13.
13 different churches.
13 different churches. It was the biggest group we have ever had with the most churches we've ever had.
Cool.
And yeah, so morning session, we kind of talked about fear, like not letting that fear kind of hold you back, but especially living with purpose. Like if you want to raise your hands in church when you're singing, go for it. If you like, don't let fear stop you. And so I would say small group was a really good discussion through that. Yeah. Like fear is something we all kind of deal with. And so I remember I took the guys upstairs, the grade 9, 10s. You had the grade 11 guys from Centennial, and then Brock and Derek had the Jackson, crossing guys. Sorry, I'm really tired from this still. But so Derek and Brock had a bunch of other guys as well, like grade 11 and 12s. And I remember talking to grade 9, 10s, and before we went finished small group, I said, all right, I want you guys to go spend 5-10 minutes just alone somewhere in camp with God. Don't talk to anyone. You can talk to God, but don't talk to anyone else. Don't bring your phone. Just sit with God in it. And they went and they did it. There was sometimes when you're with youth, and especially with guys, they don't want to open that up, and they don't really want to just dive in to do it. But they were like, yeah, you know what? Let's actually go and do it. And so it was really awesome. I went down and told you that, your group, and they seemed to go in.
Oh, we all left. I came back.
It's nice to have safe opportunities to do things like that. Because I know there aren't always places, not everywhere in your life. Working at a church, we're in such a different world often that if one of the staff or something said, oh, I just need a minute to go be with God, that's not weird. No one would think that's weird. But whereas
if you were just at school or if you were just at work,
so it's so great to practice that in safe spaces so that you'll feel more confident to do it whenever you need to. I love it.
And so we went and we were able to spend that time kind of before lunch, which was it was really great. From there we kind of had lunch, which I don't know, I was really happy with lunch, because usually you've been on retreat before, and if you've been on retreat before, sometimes they'll split you up by team or whether it be a church, but they split us up by church this time, which was really nice, because then you could
having your meal.
Because then you could just be with your whole group. I was able to go. I ate at each table at least once, where I was just with other people, and so that was just really nice. Because as a guy and the youth pastor, it's so easy for me to connect with the guys, but when I'm on a retreat, it's hard to connect with the girls because their small groups different, which it is meant to be, but so it's sometimes harder, but it made things a little easier to connect that way. My favorite part of the retreat, always, the activity hub is one of the best parts of the retreat. Just being able to just go do a bunch of things, hang out with the kids. There was volleyball tournament that was going on, and that was great. It was a lot of fun. I don't know, were you were part of the volleyball tournament, weren't you?
Yes, I was.
How'd you find it?
I thought it was pretty fun. They included everybody on the team. They let everybody go on to the field. They didn't do rotations, which was it was a little chaotic, but I think it was pretty cool as well. Just let everyone have a chance to play if they wanted to.
It did get interesting, especially when the games got to more later stage, kind of intense, because
the finals.
But because some people would be there's too many people. We need to start this out. And it's you know what? Let's just keep going. Who cares? And so it's interesting to see that dynamic and just come into play. But after through Activity Hub, I know a bunch of our students went and they did high ropes. A bunch of our students went and did archery tag. A bunch of our students went and participated just archery in general. And so it was just really good. Our group all the way across the board. There was a Jeopardy game. It went fine.
It went amazing for my team.
It did go amazing for your team. Okay. So the Jeopardy was 100 points to 500 points.
Yeah.
I thought they made the questions too easy.
Oh.
I thought they made the questions too easy. And because
what? Give me an example.
400-point Bible question. Ready?
Okay, ready.
What is the name of Jesus' brother?
The name of Jesus, one of them?
Yeah.
James?
Yeah.
Okay.
That was like a high point question.
Oh, I see.
And so it just felt like across the board. Like,
weren't some of the smaller, like 100-point questions
harder.
really difficult?
Like really difficult.
Oh. For example?
What is the definition of
energy?
And we had a guy on our team.
I mean, I know what it is, but I don't know how I would spit out a definition.
So the guy on our team, he's majoring in astrophysics. Like that's what he's going to school for.
Oh.
And he gave the equation and like scientific definition, and they said no.
What? So what is the definition of energy?
The ability to work.
Yeah, that was the accepted answer.
Oh.
Which it is what it is, right? They have answers, they've made them, and it's not the person who's running the game. Like someone else got the answer, and it's just a Google search. Like you're gonna get what the Google search says. And so, it was a good time overall. We had the fancy dinner, which is great. Our group always goes all out for that. To be fair, I think 2 years ago when we first did our senior high retreat, our church was the only one that dressed up. Now every church dresses up. Like I mean, every church goes full out now.
Nice.
And so
it was awesome.
I kind of have to say, I think we kind of started that. Like our group kind of crushed it.
It was us.
Yeah, it was us. But and so we went from there all the way into a camp-wide game. Camp-wide game was octopus.
Yes.
So like your regular gym class kind of octopus, except you're running all through camp.
Okay.
And if you know camp, the terrain necessarily isn't like flat ground.
No, I was going to say who has to run uphill and who has to run downhill.
And so
or is it side to side they were running?
It was right across camp, so all the way at the top of the chalets, all the way to the road, pretty much, past the parking lot. And so what ended up happening was you weren't allowed to go through the parking lot. You were allowed to trek through the bush if you wanted, which I'll get to later what happened. And so you had one team, were like the octopus to start, and then you had a team on the one side and two teams on the other side. When they said go, you essentially had to cross over each other. So it got a little risky.
Yeah.
Couple injuries.
There was a couple injuries that ended up happening. Luckily, we only had one for our group. One of our kids went chest first into a tree, running through the bush and popped a rib out. But they're fine now.
Ooh, that's good.
But yeah, it was
intense.
It was intense. Each church I think did well.
Everybody participated.
Everyone cheated.
Oh,
without doubt, everyone cheated.
Yeah.
You even know.
Yeah. Yellow team was the last team to go. That was my team. And we all came together as a big group and we were like, okay, how can we cheat to win this game?
Oh! It was a premeditated cheating?
Yeah.
Yeah. By the way, I'm sending this to Ryan.
Yeah. We already got a trophy, right?
We didn't.
I was rooting for yellow.
I feel like this was the only senior high retreat there hasn't been a trophy. Because you can see the one up there. We have a trophy for it. The duck was another trophy that we got.
That was the trophy?
That was a trophy.
For 2021?
No, that would have been
2022.
That would have been junior high 2023.
Junior high.
Yeah. But no, they didn't give a trophy this year.
Maybe it's in the mail.
It's because there were so many churches.
No, it's because it's in the mail.
Wasn't a real win.
Oh, yeah, it's coming.
But we're slightly competitive. And so, but yeah, with the campfire game, it was good. It was fun. That kind of led into our campfire session. Campfire session is always the kind of the heaviest session.
Yeah.
Which you were there the whole time. So you got to do the worship and all that. How was the worship? The
worship was amazing. Yeah, it was really good. I was sitting on the truck that was kind of facing away from the speakers, so we couldn't hear it as loud, but that meant we could hear the people singing, everyone in the on the bleachers, which was way cooler in my opinion. Yeah, it was amazing.
Yeah, I came down with our injured student a little bit. They were doing the last song before Jordan kind of came up, and it was a really awesome time because you see our whole group kind of sing there, and this always happens throughout the years, but at the beginning of a school year, you have fresh grade 9s and you have grade 12s.
Yep.
They don't jive, they don't work well together.
Well,
it's because there's an age difference, right?
Yeah.
There's an age and maturity
and
difference.
It feels somehow like a more significant age difference.
It does.
Yes.
It does.
14 or 13 to 17, 18.
Yeah. No, it feels like a huge difference. And so I was the student who got hurt was in grade 9, and one of our grade 12s came off the bleachers and just kind of wrapped arms around and just kind of sang with. And it was just a beautiful moment of just okay, we actually have unity in our group right now, which it was just really cool to see. And it's just the campfire session is always my favorite session. It's the session that always hits me the hardest to the students. And I just really appreciate all of it. And so after that, we had our small group, which is the the girls had an incredible small group. Like just hearing the stories from that, they had an incredible small group of just really like they ended up praying and laying hands and just asking for help from God in a special way. The guys, we split up again, and I think small group went well for everyone.
Yeah, it went really well.
You had a good small group. The guys upstairs had a great small group as well, and just we did worship again on the porch. So everyone's been told to go to bed, and there's Wayne Fleet just like, nope, we're gonna keep praising the Lord. And so we did worship again. The guys set it up on our porch, and we're like, okay, perfect, we're ready to go. And then the best part was I'm standing on the porch thinking, okay, when are the girls kind of gonna show up? And I'm looking down the hill, looking at the hill coming down towards retreat, and I see a group of girls coming. I'm like, oh, must be the first set. They must have just like gone to the rooms. A group of them were coming over, and they were about probably 10, 15 feet away. And I'm like, it's dark already. So I'm like, they're not from our church. And then another group came. It was guys and girls, and I'm like, okay, it's not from our church as well. And just more and more churches kept coming out to this, and it was really amazing.
Yeah.
I remember you looking at Emerson. I'm like, lock all the doors. No one goes in the cabin. Like, no one goes into our cabin. And so you like stood and watched.
Yeah, I was basically the.
You were the bouncer.
He was the bouncer pretty much. And so finally the girls kind of came, and two guys from the band from that weekend actually joined our worship like team for that. Nice. And so it was just a really cool time. And yeah, we just had a really incredible worship time. It was high energy.
Yes.
Very high energy. I thought the porch was going to break at one point.
It was like bending.
It was bending.
Oh,
it was
sagging
huge.
In the middle.
Oh yeah. Like
wild.
I was generally concerned at one point that we're actually going to break this porch.
There was many cracks that happened near the end.
Yeah, you could hear it.
Like it was like
creaking.
We're pretty sure a beam like had
snap a bit. Yeah.
Had a little crack in it.
Oh dear.
But it's fine. Like
was,
Ryan and Gord checked it and it was all good. But
probably.
But we actually had to stop. So the camp people kind of showed up and they kind of looked at me and said, "Hey Wes, so we have to stop during worship." And we weren't even as long as our first night.
No.
Like we probably were only going for like a half hour, 45 minutes.
Yeah.
Not even close to an hour and a half. And they said we've got a noise complaint. So there was a noise complaint from across the lake.
Yeah, sound would travel really well over water.
But yeah, so we ended up shutting down, and which was okay. Like we finished with a prayer, and it was just a really special time. But for Wayne Fleet, we kind of got together and kind of did this real group prayer before going in, and it was really awesome. It was a really amazing time, just being able to connect with the students through all of that, because there's so much emotion and so much passion.
Yeah.
And you can see how much passion this young generation has for God and wanting to be in this relationship, wanting to praise, wanting to worship. And so for them to be able to just like let it all out, it's amazing to be able to do it for them, that we can do this. I think we were up, I don't even know when I went to bed. I think you went to bed before. You went to bed.
I passed out around like 1. I wasn't
even in bed. I probably wasn't in bed until like 2:30. So there was conversations going on with like our students and some of our leaders. Like some of the girls had questions for one of our guy leaders, and so they were like sitting on like this little block of wood that's like out by the docks, just asking questions about life and different things. And then a group of guys came up to me and said, "Hey, can we chat more about just a bunch of other things?" And so we just kept chatting, and we were up super late. And I just thought to myself, I'm like, I'm so thankful for camp, because they didn't come and be like, "Hey, you guys you need to go to your room, you need to go to bed." They let us have these discussions. They let us have these conversations. Like they trusted us as leaders to be able to handle our students, which I think we did a good job with. But yeah, I remember. So your mom, Shauna. If you don't know, Emerson's Shauna's kid, Shauna Marr. She's part of the LT board. But she kind of came up to me and said, "You need to get the girls who are out here to come. Like, I know they're having good talks, but it's time for sleep."
Yeah.
And I was like, "Okay, we'll go shut them down." And so we shut them down and got them into bed. And I remember just chatting with our leaders right before we were going to sleep and said like just how awesome our group is.
Yeah.
And actually on that Saturday night, while we were doing worship, there was one of the camp people standing on a picnic table. And they kind of said to me, "Wes, man, you got so lucky with your group." And I thought, nah, I didn't. Like, this is like, I know that I was put here for a reason. All these people here are put here for a reason. It wasn't that I just got lucky. Like, and some people have said it to me, oh, you got so lucky that you got down in Wainfleet. No, it wasn't not luck. Trust me. Like, I've seen the evidence of God working in my life, like bringing Carrie and I to this place, and I praise him every day for it. And so like I know this wasn't just luck, and that's why I feel like I'm more passionate about it, because I know this wasn't just chance. This was God's actual work, and I want to be able to please him through that. And so it was really awesome time that Saturday. Sunday happened and we had the baptisms. That I feel like we can't not talk. We have to talk about baptisms. They were so good. We had 3 people from Wainfleet get baptized. We had 2 students and a leader, and just.
We're getting a video together so everyone can celebrate that during the service in a couple of weeks. So
June 9th.
Stay tuned.
Yes. But and so it was. They did such an amazing job, and no matter there was no microphone, and you know what? It was a bit of a windy day, but when they were going to speak, the wind it calmed.
Yeah, it would stop.
And the wind, the water was almost like still, and it felt like everyone from camp came down. It wasn't just like our church, but everyone from camp came down. There was parents there, and just to hear their stories of testimony of why they were getting baptized, it's incredible. And I hope one day both of you can get the experience of actually being able to baptize someone, because like when you get baptized, you know the feeling of that. Like it's incredible it's spiritually heightening. It feels amazing. But to actually baptize someone, it's a whole different scenario. It's a whole different world. Like Bible college didn't prepare me for the amount of emotion I would feel baptizing someone. And so like when we baptized Hillary and Ava and Sarah, like each of those, like I've connected with all those people for almost 3 years now. And it means the world to be able to do those things. And so, it just, there's not really words to describe the feeling of like coming back up out of the water with that person, just being like, this is incredible. Because I remember walking out, and as soon as I kneel, I kind of look at them and say, look, just take a huge deep breath. Like don't even think about like anything. Just take a deep breath. Just focus in on what's happening in this moment. And you can see like each and every single one of them, when I told them to take a deep breath, actually closed their eyes and just went, yeah, no, I actually need to take a moment in of this. And it was a really amazing time, and so thankful that they were able to do that at camp, and we were able to celebrate and enjoy it. And it was emotional, and like there was tears. Like it was incredible to be able to do. And I remember talking to some of our students afterwards. I'm like, I'll see you next year. But it was just an incredible weekend. We had a bit of trouble on the way home, but
I feel like we can't skip over the Monday session as well. Sunday session. Sorry.
Yeah, that was good as well.
That was personally my favorite session.
Really?
Because everybody was together. They all had their arms like around each other, because they all knew that this would be the last time they'd be all together. So everyone had their arms around each other. The band would like run into the crowd. They'd stand on the benches and we're playing and singing with everybody.
Nice. It was like you've experienced a junior high retreat. Yeah. And tell me, I 100% serious. It cannot compare to a senior high retreat. For some reason, it's just like it's amazing. It's like 10 out of 10 a junior high retreat. Yeah. The senior high retreat though, it's a 10 out of 10 as well. But it's just that different. It's a different emotional, spiritual atmosphere. And so, the Sunday session was really, really good. Just coming together and just being all in community and putting arms around people you don't even know. Yeah. And
all the churches were just like
in there
smushed together. It was
smushed
awesome.
Together. Yeah, that's a good way to put it. Yeah. But I like overall, it's an incredible time. Yeah. Like out of 10, what would you rate it?
I'd give it like a 9.5.
9.5? I would probably do the same. Yeah. Yeah. It was right up there. Like I think I feel it more because I've been with these students for 3 years now. Like 3 school years. So I felt it a lot, like knowing that for some of our grade 12s, that's their last retreat. Yeah. I felt it more. Like I mean no offense, because you were last year. Yeah. But like we connected for probably like a school year, like really like a school year in a few months. But for the students who are just graduating, like 2+ years of that, and just diving into their lives as much as I can, And so I don't know, like I think as it keeps going, it's gonna keep getting more and more and more. Like next year, I'm gonna feel it even more, and the year after that, I'm gonna feel it more. And it's just because traveling and knowing these people for so long, and
by the time you're
letting that care go,
first year of grade 6s graduates, you're gonna be a puddle.
Oh yeah, 100%. There's no doubt. Like I don't know how I'm gonna do that, but yeah.
I mean, I also found it really amazing because this is my like first time being a leader and I just found it so cool, like watching all of like my friends, all the people I like been in youth with for like 3-4 years, watching them like just praise and worship and get so into it. It was really amazing.
It kind of takes you aback when you take it from the leader standpoint.
Yeah, it's way different.
Way different, yeah. And yeah, it just hits you differently.
Yes.
Like when you're a student and you're like, I really just want to be able to connect with God and hang out with my friends and go through this. But as a leader, you're like, I want these kids to like, I want them to have this personal relationship with Jesus. I want them to invest in it. I want them to praise God. I want them to go through all of these things. And when you see them doing all that you hoped and prayed for, it's amazing. It's amazing. It's incredible.
Nice.
Yeah. Yeah.
Awesome. Well, does that wrap it up?
I think so.
So.
I don't know if there's much more.
Yeah.
No.
We had a bit of trouble on the way home, but that's just some vehicle things happened. But we all figured it out. We got home safe, and so there was no issues there. And yeah, like overall, just incredible time.
Awesome.
Incredible time for our students, and I don't know. I love to say if I could relive those weekends, I would just relive those weekends, just because they're so incredible. But yeah.
Yeah. That's awesome. I'm glad to hear how encouraging it is for the leaders, as well as the students. That's really that's really awesome.
They help us as well. Like no matter what, like on retreats, like we think that we're just pouring into the students and they're gonna have like, hopefully they can grow in the relationship, but we learn so much from our students, and they like just the way they can act and move through things, and you see it and you're just like, I don't know, like if I was your age and going through stuff you're going through, there's no way I could have made it through. And so they've definitely taught me more than I could ever imagine.
Yeah, looking back, like I always thought that the leaders, like we needed the leaders, the students needed the leaders. But now that mutual. I'm becoming a leader, I've realized how mutual it really is. It's
so mutual. But yeah.
Oh, that's beautiful. Thank you. Well, thank you for sharing. I know I always feel encouraged hearing these great stories, and thank you to our listeners if you're tuning in and you helped pray for the youth or pray for this weekend or helped financially through the brunch that we held. I know the youth really appreciate your support and feel your love and can sense your grace.
Yeah.
Awesome. Thank you very much. If you'd like to get in touch with Pastor Wes, you can reach him at wes@wingfleetbic.com. If you want to send Emerson an email, it's emersonmar@gmail.com.
Yes.
So close. And my email is julie@wingfleetbic.com. So thank you so much for tuning in, and we look forward to connecting with you next week. Have a great week.
Bye.
Bye.